What is up everyone, my name is Jasper and in today's video I wanted to talk about me selling one of my websites. Now this is a site that I've mentioned a lot of times in my income report series that I wanted to sell this eventually, and I think today it is finally time to just pull the trigger and set the site up for a sale. So I already made one video about this website where I was preparing it for a sale, which you can find back, and by preparing it for a sale I essentially just put Zoic ads on the website to see how much it would make every single month. Now you can also check out that video, but I will explain briefly what I did there in this video as well. But in today's video I mainly wanted to talk about the reasons why I wanted to sell this website, what the stats are of course, so how much money is it bringing in, how many page views is it bringing in, and then what I would do if I were the one that buys this website. So what is the next step if you buy this site. So these are a couple of things that I wanted to discuss in this video. So why do I actually want to sell my consumptions website? Well, first off, I started this website about 2 years ago, and back then things were a lot different. So back then my beauty site was still going really well and it was pulling in a consistent $4,000 a month. It was still bringing in a lot of page views as well, and things were still going up. And since things were going so well, I decided that maybe it's time to start a new website and just grow that one out as well. But one thing I didn't take into account is the fact that I was a one-man team back then. I was writing everything myself, I outsourced nothing, I did everything myself. And when you have a website that requires a lot of upkeep and writing because it was already pulling in such amazing numbers, it just doesn't really make sense to add another website to the batch and have to kind of divide your time. Added to that is the fact that the consumption site can literally house tens of thousands of articles. It's such a broad topic, it's actually insane how many articles you can write for this particular niche. And for a one-man team, it just doesn't make sense to split your time and write for a niche that is so large and so overwhelmingly big. It was a little bit too much. I just bit off a bit more than I could chew. Also, my time was probably best allocated towards the beauty side because it was pulling in actual really good money. Now, of course, now that I look back, I realized that I should have started outsourcing a lot sooner. If I were to outsource articles right when I started this website, I think this one will be in a much different place. But I didn't. So we're talking about September 2020 right here, and I actually only started building my team in November 2020. I added 6 writers to my team, and most of them were of course still writing for the beauty site, because once again, the beauty site was pulling in money and every cent I put into that site was returning more money back. So it just once again didn't really make sense to put most of those funds into the consumptions website. Now in the end, I do believe I ended up outsourcing about 50% of the total article count for the consumptions website, but I kind of stopped writing for the site and outsourcing and letting other people write for the site after about 6 months. I just flat out stopped, and that's for the third reason why I actually want to sell the site, is that I just lost interest. This niche is so overwhelmingly large, things currently are not going the best, at least for my portfolio, so I really need to narrow down my focus, and when you put all of these things together, it just makes sense to sell this website and move on and focus on the projects that are actually working out. So that brings me to my next question, which is why sell this website right now? And for that I have a really simple explanation. Just as I wanted to sell this website because I lost interest, I want to sell it right now because I'm just kind of done with it. I just want to get it off my hands and just don't have it in the back of my mind anymore. On top of that, my WPX plan can only host 5 websites. It's currently filled up to the limit, and if I sell this website, that will mean there's another slot open. Now I did mention that I want to focus on the existing websites, so I'm probably not going to fill that slot anytime soon, but it's nice to have it right there because it does mean that if I do see a project that will be really profitable or has a lot of potential or something like that, I don't have to buy an entirely new hosting plan. I can just add it to my existing one. So that's really why I want to sell it right now. I just want to be done with it, have that slot open for any potential in the future, and just move on. Just don't have this one in the back of my mind anymore. But in order to sell your website, you of course need to have your stats ready. So here's a couple of the stats of this website, and the total article count is 40 articles. As I mentioned, about half of those are outsourced and the other half are written by me. Now I do have to say that 2 years ago my English was not as good as it is right now. Back then I was still learning. I believe I didn't even use Grammarly at the time. So the articles, they really aren't the best. I also learned a lot more in those 2 years in terms of structure, how to convey the information, adding relevant pictures, infographics, stuff like that. So the articles, although I wrote them myself, I would probably go back and maybe slightly rewrite them and optimize them here and there. But that being said, they do pull in traffic. And speaking of traffic numbers, I'm going to go over the traffic numbers starting from January 2020 up till now. Now I'm recording this video on July 21st, so that's where we're going to end this one off. So in total, this website had a total of 7,230 visitors in January. Then in February that went down to 5,611. Then in March it went up to 5,932. Then in April 5,913. In May 6,259. And in June 5,646. Then in July so far it has 3,527 page views. And when we kind of calculate that, so we divide it by the total days and then times that by the 31 days that we have in July, it would come down to a total of just about 5,467. And that comes down to a 7-month average of 6,008 page views a month. Now these page views of course are making me money, and they are only doing that through Ezoic Premium Ads. This website has no affiliate links on there whatsoever, so it's just Ezoic for this one. Now once again, we're starting from January all the way up till now. And in January, this website made a total of $42.61. Then in February, that went down to $33.41. Then in March, we had a total of $26.93. Then in April, $26.52. In May, $24.70. In June, $28.55, and in July so far, $13.41. And once again, if we divide that by the number of days and then times it by 31, we would come down to a total of $21.90. So the 7-month average here is $29.23. And to be fair, the income is really disappointing to me. Just look at this graph right here. This is from Ezoic Ads, and for some reason, the first month or so, it was just all a lot higher. The RPMs were higher, the income were higher, the Ezoic Premium was higher by a mile. It just flat out disappeared after some time. And that's not only for this website. If you look at the Dutch beauty site and the Dutch boning site, you can see the exact same thing happening here. Just a lot of dark green, which is the premium side of things, and it just disappeared. It just is a lot lower for whatever reason. I'm not sure what's happening, but I don't like the side of that. But yeah, that's the income for this website. It is in a bit of the decline, and definitely in July, but July of course has lower RPMs than normal. So lastly, I wanted to discuss what I would do if I were to buy this website. I think it's pretty important because I'm the owner of the site currently, and I have some insights that other people may not think of. So first off, what I would do is, well, let me just give a little bit of background on this site. As I said, it is a huge niche, and I'm going to use the sports niche as an example. The sports niche is one overarching niche, which is the same for this consumptions website. And let's just say I started writing about 40 articles for this website on the basketball niche. So basketball is the only subtopic I currently cover on this website, for example. And what I would do is, of course, there are more things to write about basketball than just 40 articles. So I would dive into the existing cluster and just write for that a lot. I currently have some expertise on that one. There's already some stuff that you can interlink, and I think it's just great to start building on top of that content. Once again, this subtopic can house like thousands of articles on its own already, so you kind of have to make a judgment call yourself on how many you're going to do there, and if you even are going to switch over to any other of these subtopics. But that's where I would start. I would just hammer down on the current existing cluster / subtopic and just make sure that you're already authority on that part. Then, as I mentioned earlier in the video, maybe you should go back and check some of the older articles. Some could use a touch-up, maybe a rewrite here and there, or just improve some grammatical errors. I tried my best back then, but I'm sure some mistakes have slipped through, and maybe it is beneficial to just make sure that those are rectified. And after that, what I would do is dive into all of the other subtopics. So I said how you should probably focus on the existing one right now, but after you've covered that, or at least covered that to a large enough extent that you think you can move on, it is time to go after the other subtopics. So if we go back to the sports example, we've got basketball, but now it's time for football. Maybe it's time for rugby, maybe it's time for tennis or swimming, whatever. Any of these topics will fit. And let me just tell, for this website, I think I came up with a total of like 20 subtopics in like 5 minutes. And all of these subtopics can house, again, like thousands of articles, I think. So that's what I would do. I would just start by hammering down on the existing cluster and just build it out and build yourself to be an authority there, and then just move on to the next and the next and the next. And as for selling options, I think I'm going to wait a week, maybe 2 weeks, and see if I can directly sell this website to anyone. If you are interested in buying this website, of course, make sure to contact me. But that's really what I wanted to do first, mainly because that would help me avoid any of these broker fees. I believe Motion Invest, which is currently my #1 pick, it charges like 15% or something like that. And if I can avoid that, of course I do want to do that. Other than that, I think after about 2 weeks or so, I'm going to Motion Invest. I'm currently working on their free valuation calculator, and I'm going to see what they are valuing my website at. After that, I will see what the value is and how much money I will actually take home after the broker fees. That's just all stuff for another video. But honestly, that's really the two options I'm going with right now. Why Motion Invest? Honestly, I have no clue. I'm just a beginner in selling websites, so I have no idea. And Motion Invest, I'm subscribed to their email list, and what I mainly see right there are one of these starter websites. So this one is really not that expensive, not at all actually. So I think it will fit in nicely there. It's just not one of these outliers that is just sold for a really low price and doesn't get that many eyeballs. So that's my reasoning for Motion Invest right now. Please tell me if I'm wrong or if you have any other suggestions. But other than that, I really want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!